after Mom is discharged from the hospital, I'm counting on you to take care of her. What? You should be the one taking care of her. We're family. When I refused to take care of my mother-in-law, my husband threatened me with divorce. Do you want to end up a poor single mom? If not, just do as you're told. I can't take it anymore. I'm so done with this life. I'll make him regret this for sure. My name is Catherine. I'm 43. I live with my husband, Bob, and our daughter, Emma, who's in high school. We live on Bob's salary and my part-time job. We're not rich, but we have a decent life. Then, one day, the worst happened. Catherine, it looks like Mom collapsed and was taken to the hospital. Oh, your mom. My mother-in-law lives alone, but she's always been pretty active, apparently. She hurt her back while shopping and has to stay in the hospital for a while. I'm glad she's not seriously hurt. I'll visit her tomorrow. Okay, take care. Aren't you coming? Huh, why would I? Alright, I'll go alone. Please send her my regards. I don't visit my mother-in-law because I've cut ties with her. I've been married to Bob for 20 years, and from the start, my mother-in-law has disliked me, going out of her way to make things hard for me. We're really inefficient, Catherine. We're not good enough for my son. I wish he'd married someone better. I never imagined you'd be this useless. Hearing her constant complaints wore me down. Whatever I did, it was never good enough, but I put up with it because she was Bob's mother. However, after our daughter, Emma, was born, my mother-in-law's harsh words continued. She even started finding fault with Emma. Great, our grandchild is a girl. She can't carry on the family name. She's useless. If she's going to be a girl, she should at least be pretty. Who does she even take after? One day, while my mother-in-law was unusually calm at our house, Emma brought her a picture book. Granny, can't you read this? But as soon as Emma handed her the book, my mother-in-law knocked it to the ground and yelled, "Don't touch me with your dirty hands. I don't need an ugly grandchild like you," my mother-in-law shouted at Emma, causing her to cry. Emma was heartbroken, sobbing uncontrollably. It hurt me deeply to see her treated like this. Hey, what do you think you're doing? I confronted my mother-in-law, but she didn't feel sorry at all. Instead, she snapped back. It's your daughter's fault. You've got to be kidding. I saw what you did to knock Emma's book out of her hand. She tried to touch me with her dirty hands, my mother-in-law replied coldly. Dirty hands, if you're going to act like this, don't come to our house anymore, I told her firmly. She scoffed, don't get cheeky with me. I don't care about you. I came to see Bob. This is mine and Emma's house, too, I replied, but the argument escalated. Bob just stood there, flustered, saying, Hey, both of you, please stop. But he didn't defend me or Emma. My mother-in-law eventually left, still grumbling, but this was the last straw for me. I'm done dealing with your mother, and I'm fed up with you never defending us. I want a divorce, I told Bob. He looked panicked. Wait, Catherine. Even I find her tough to handle. I just didn't know what to say. It all happened so fast. I'm on your side, I swear. Words mean nothing if you don't act on them. I'm done with this. Then, Bob made a suggestion. Look, if you really want to, you can cut ties with my mom. But please, don't divorce me. I thought hard about it. Would it be worth staying with such an unreliable husband? Could I really avoid seeing his mom forever? In the end, I chose to stay for Emma's sake. She adores her dad, and he's a loving father to her. I decided to put off the divorce, but only on the condition that I wouldn't have to deal with my mother-in-law anymore. Fine, I told him, but if anything else happens, I won't be so forgiving. I understand. I'll talk to my mom, too. He agreed. We made a deal, and I cut all ties with my mother-in-law. I vowed that Emma would never have to see her grandmother again. That was part of our agreement. 10 years passed, and I haven't forgotten what she did. Visiting her is out of the question. I honestly don't care what happens to her anymore. Then, a few days ago, Bob came to me with a serious look. Catherine, we need to talk, he said. What's this about? It's my mom. She's going to need care when she's discharged from the hospital. So, It'll be expensive if she goes to a facility, so I thought maybe we could take care of her at home. Oh, that's impressive. Good luck, I said. No, I meant you would take care of her. What? I couldn't believe what he was suggesting. Catherine, you know she's in a bad way. So what? You know I cut off all ties with her, right? I said firmly. He fell silent. I couldn't believe he would even ask to make things absolutely clear. I laid it out for him. I was not going to take care of his mother. Look, I have a job too, you know. There's no way I can't take on the responsibility of caring for your mother. But you're just working part-time, right? Surely you can't find some time to take care of her, Bob replied. If that's how you feel, then I'll just talk to my boss about switching to full-time. How about that? I shot back. There was no point dragging this out. My mind was made up. His timid tone was only irritating me more, so I ended the conversation. The next day, it seemed he'd spoken to his mother in the hospital because she caught me. Catherine, how dare you refuse to care for your mother-in-law? Yes, I refused. Is there a problem? I replied calmly. She shrieked through the phone, but I kept my cool. Remember, I cut ties with you. You're not my mother-in-law anymore, and I have no intention of helping you. How dare you speak to me like that? I won't tolerate this refusal. I considered hanging up, but I knew I had to be firm. If I didn't make it clear, she'd just keep calling. Do you remember why I cut you off in the first place? I asked. What? Are you implying I did something wrong? She snapped. Have you already forgotten? It was because of your constant bullying and the awful way you treated my daughter. My husband agreed to cut ties, so goodbye. Without waiting for a response, I hung up and blocked her number. A few days later, Bob brought up the topic again. Hey, about my nun. Again, I couldn't hide my irritation. Just so we're clear, I have absolutely no sympathy for her. I won't be providing care, and I've told you this repeatedly. Then, out of nowhere, Bob raised his voice. No, you would take care of my mom. Count on it. What did he mean by that? After everything I'd said, it was like he was ignoring it all. I told you already I'm not taking care of your mom, I said firmly, but today, Bob wasn't backing down. No matter how much I argued, he kept pushing. I remember the heated call with my mother-in-law a few days ago. She must have pressured him to make me change my mind. You're going to take care of my mom, isn't it obvious? Bob said. She's family, after all. Your idea was to cut ties with her, I replied. That was then, he argued. Now she's weak, and it's different. She needs help after being in the hospital. Childish, me, I said, frustrated. The only reason we're in this mess is because of her childish bullying. My mind flashed back to the phone call with his mom, where she sounded anything but weak. She was just as demanding and loud as ever, and now Bob kept insisting I should take care of her. I stood my ground. Listen, I can't take care of her, no matter what you say. If it's so important, then you do it. Without a word, Bob handed me a piece of paper. What's this? Can't you tell? It's a divorce form. I was stunned. He'd filled it out completely. If you don't want a divorce, then take care of my mom, he demanded. Think about it. Emma's going to college next year. You work part-time. Do you think you could survive on your own? If you don't like this, just do as I say. He was using our daughter to pressure me. At that moment, I realized I couldn't stay married to someone like this. All my feelings for him faded, and I knew what I had to do. Hey, are you even listening? Bob said, laughing down at me. You were so tough a moment ago. Now that divorce is on the table, are you scared? Emma walked into the room, probably hearing the commotion. Hey, what's going on? She asked. Bob immediately turned to her. Perfect timing. You'll help with Grandma's care too. What? Why me? Emma looked shocked. Because she's your grandma, he replied, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. I couldn't believe he dragged our daughter into this. Furious, I grabbed a pen and signed the divorce papers without hesitation. Catherine, what are you doing? He asked, alarmed. Isn't it obvious? I said, I'm signing the divorce papers. I'll file them as soon as I'm done. Seeing me go through with it, Bob started to panic. He clearly didn't expect me to agree so easily. Enough already, Bob said, trying to sound tough. Do you realize how hard things will be for you if we get divorced? I don't care, I replied. Any hardship is better than staying with you. Holding the divorce papers, I prepared to leave, but then he tried one last threat. If we divorce, you'll have to give up Emma, he warned. I'll get custody, and you'll never see her again? He was so sure he could control everything, but he didn't realize how wrong he was. I would never give up my daughter. I work as hard as I had to in order to keep her with me. You won't see her again, he insisted, so good luck. At that moment, Emma, who had been quietly listening, spoke up. No, Dad, I'm going with Mom. What? Bob stammered, clearly shocked. What are you saying? If you go with her, life will be hard for you. I don't care, Emma replied firmly. It's better than staying with you. I don't want to take care of Grandma. Emma remembered everything my mother-in-law had put us through. She looked at her dad with disgust. I hate Grandma for how she treated Mom, and I can't stand how you never helped Mom either. I'd rather live with her, even if it means less money. Hearing my daughter's words filled me with pride. I'd hoped she'd come with me, but I hadn't realized how deeply she understood everything. Bob, looking pathetic, tried to convince us to stay. Wait, who's going to take care of the house? Why don't you do it yourself, Dad? Emma smirked. You can't handle Grandma and all the chores on your own. That's impossible. I have a job, you know. So what? Emma shot back. Mom worked and did all the housework too. Now you want her to take care of Grandma on top of that. Expecting others to do what you want yourself is just ridiculous. Emma's words left Bob speechless. Finally, he resorted to his old tactic of fake tears. Why are you both being so mean to me? He whimpered. I only asked for a little help. There was a time when his tears might have worked, but not anymore. Emma and I just shook our heads in disbelief. Let's go, Ma'am. Let's pack up, she said. Right, I replied. We each packed our things, took the divorce papers, and left the house without looking back. My husband kept crying and trying to stop us right until the last moment, but we ignored him. We went to City Hall, filed the divorce papers, and just like that, our divorce was official. My daughter and I decided to stay with my parents for a while. They run a flower shop, so now I'm working part-time there and saving money for my daughter's college tuition. Even after the divorce, my ex kept calling me, saying things like, Mom is throwing things at me. I can't handle this on my own, please come back. He was so annoying that I eventually blocked him. Living with his bad-tempered mother must be hard, and he's having to care for her around the clock without sleep. He even mentioned that his company cut his hours, so he's barely making ends meet. I bet he wishes now that he had found a way to put his mother in a care facility, but it's too late for regrets. Looking back, his insistence on caregiving ended up being a blessing in disguise. It allowed me to be with my daughter every day, and for that, I guess I should thank him. From here on, I want to live each day happily and in harmony with my loving family.